this, and this is some sound from a progressive roundtable. Now, of course, the word progressive always has a positive connotation to it, but it's not positive. It depends on what you're progressing to, right? If you're progressing to socialism, then that's not a good thing. And that's what progressivism is all about. It's about becoming a more socialist country. That's not progress. If you have cancer and you go to the doctor, you don't want the doctor to tell you that your cancer is progressing. Right? Your cancer is making progress. That's not good. You want to kill the cancer, right? You don't want it to progress. So progressivism in America is like a cancer. And we don't want it to expand and progress and grow. We want to snuff it out. We want to wipe it out because that's real progress. But listen to what this is a Democratic Congressman, Keith Allison, Democrat from Minnesota. Just have a listen to what he had to say about a potential tax on brokerage transactions. Here, cut number 5.
People like George Soros, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Paul Krugman, Joe Stiglitz, Jeffrey Sachs, Dean Baker, Robert Poland, Larry Summers have all said they support a transaction tax. And so the bottom line is we're not broke. There's plenty of money. It's just the government doesn't have it. The government has a right. The government and the people of the United States have a right to run the programs of the United States.
Think about that. There's plenty of money. It's just that the government doesn't have it because we haven't taken it all. Private citizens still have some money that the government hasn't looted. And think about what he was really saying, because he said the government has a right to run these programs. What he really meant was the government has a right to that money, that the government can take whatever it wants by right, like the right of a king to take the property of his subjects, because after all, it doesn't really belong to his subjects. It belongs to the king, that the subjects merely have possession of the property that the king allows them to have, right? What comes to the people is a gift from the crown. This is what this guy thinks, that, hey, private citizens have money. We have a right to take it on behalf of the American public. We have a right to that money because, after all, we have a right to government programs. And if these government programs are expensive, then we have a right to take your money to pay for it. That is how the U.S. government looks at the American people. We're all a bunch of slaves because when they say they have a right to our property, they have a right to us. They own our labor. They own our bodies, because that's what a private property is, and that's what your income is. It's the right to self-ownership. And they think, no, we're all a bunch of slaves on this gigantic plantation run by the U.S. government, and they have a right to whatever we have. And if they run, and if we still have any money, well, then they haven't run out, right? He said there's plenty of money. It's just that the government doesn't have it. So the government is going to take all the money that it doesn't have because it has an unlimited right to provide any programs that it wants to provide, even though it doesn't have any money. Because as long as somebody has money, the government has a right to take